Anthony Yarde. Devin Haney moves up to challenge Brian Norman Jr. Bam Rodriguez looks to unify against Fernando Martinez. It's the night of the champions. The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
And look at that beautiful shot. It's a nice view. Right before we start all the activities for this press conference for the Ring 4, another historic Ring Magazine card, and what a week we've had. And obviously we're just a few minutes away from that opportunity the fighters have right before they face the first challenge, which is the scale, and that's going to come in tomorrow. Tonight is the press conference, and we have obviously my partners in crime. We have Mike Coppinger, senior insider for Ring Magazine, and the Latin snake himself, Sergio Mora. We're looking forward to a great evening, and I know there's a lot to be said. So we're expecting maybe a lot of words between the fighters, but let's talk about what happened yesterday. We had the workout, and let's start with the main, one of the fights that I'm looking forward to. Oaks against Abdullah Mason. We're talking about speed against power, but moreover, they're both being for a vacant title. How important is that difference in styles?
I think it's going to be huge here. Obviously, Abdullah Mason is one of the flashiest fighters in the sport. Incredible hand speed, incredible length, and Sam Noakes, great power jab, strong, big power in both hands. What I look for here, Claudia, is that both guys are stepping way up in competition, and we're going to see what they're made of.
Every fighter comes to this point in their career undefeated. You have to put your zero on the line, especially for a world title. Sam Noakes is a volume puncher, heavy-handed, but he's dealing with a southpaw with a 74-inch reach as a lightweight. That's going to be extremely difficult to break that distance. Noakes needs to get on the inside. Someone's going to get stopped. Someone's going to win a world championship. That's exactly what Riyadh season is all about.
Real quick, yesterday you mentioned that it was going to be, I thought it was dirty. You said it was going to be physical. What's the difference?
Well,
I'm just saying.
No, great question. Dirty is headbutting on purpose, things that you can get disqualified for.
Okay.
Being physical is wrestling, maybe giving a low blow, a borderline blow, things that you can get away with or maybe just get a warning. But
so
that's
the real difference is if you get away with it. That's
it's
the real
always that way.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, the one guy that I was looking forward to see, obviously we'll get to see him on Saturday, is Jesse Bam Rodriguez, making it back to the ring. But of course he couldn't make it to a workout because he just welcomed his second baby boy. Milo is now part of the family, so welcome again. But Jesse Bam is obviously in for a very interesting fight against Pumita, coming all the way from Argentina. What are your thoughts on that one?
Claudia, Bam Rodriguez is number 5 on Ring Magazine's pound-for-pound list. He's going to be a favorite against anybody he fights, right, at his weight class. But I think this is going to be the toughest night of his career. Puma Martinez, he's battle-tested, went to Japan twice last year, and with 2 wins over a really good fighter in Kazuto Ioka. He's physical in there, and I think Bam's going to have to be on his game.
What are your thoughts on Puma? Because we know the long line of Argentinian fighters, and you know that style very well.
You know, Mexicans have a saying, si se puede. Well, Argentinians should say, si che puede, because this is a man that's very strong, very physical, especially if he gets on the inside. That's the thing that he's going to have to do with Bam, because he's going to get angles, use that left-handed stance, and he's excellent with the uppercuts and body shots, like he was able to drop Carlos Cuadras, a similar style to Martinez. Martinez has a whole country on his shoulders. And he has a lot of pressure, but he's carrying himself like a world champion. So it's champion versus champion. This could be a special night for someone like Puma.
Mentality, is that going to make a difference?
No, not when it comes to someone like Bam, who's one of the youngest champions in boxing, unified everything that he's done, faced the fighters that he fought from, you know, Carlos Cuadras to Gallo Estrada to Samrung Masai. So there's no intimidation, just another champion, another day in the office for him.
With that being said, Martinez has never been in this type of platform. He's basically unknown walking into this fight, and he really has nothing to lose but the opportunity to a title. Does that help or take away?
I think it helps, and not just any title, but he's fighting the Ring Magazine champion. You know, that means that you're the #1 guy in your division, not just one of 4 title holders. So I think there's a lot on the line for Puma Martinez. And again, he's battle-tested. You look at 2 wins over Jerwin and Koss also. I think he's gone on the road a lot of times, and I think he's ready for this fight.
Baby being born, distraction or motivation for Jesse?
It could be a little bit of both. It could be dangerous, but see, the thing about being a professional, especially a champion, you got to know how to compartmentalize your personal life and your professional life. I think, you know, young Bam has bitten off so much in his career, but he's chewed it well. He's chewed it, digested, done everything you can ask of someone like Bam Rodriguez. So I think this is just something that the champ just is made for. Bam is made for moments like these, and congratulations to the new Bambino.
Absolutely. But real quick, just to add, let's not forget that Jesse Bam Rodriguez comes from a long line of fighters, starting with his own brother, and he has already walked that line of world championships, has already been fed those lights, those cameras. So I think this is nothing new for him. So we're looking forward. I'm looking forward to this fight. Obviously, Jesse's always excited, and this is always a fight that we need to look forward to. But a quick reminder of what this card is going to look like, because like we mentioned yesterday, the whole week actually, any of these fights could be a main event in any other card. And we're going to start obviously on Saturday with a lightweight division. But when we talk about back to Bam Rodriguez, long line, and we have somebody like Robert Garcia in your corner. Not to say anything about Calabrese, who's always been in Martinez's corner, but Robert has been there since day one.
Yeah, look, Robert Garcia is one of the very elite trainers in the sport, Claudia. Look at Virgil Ortiz, and he's a former champion himself. So I think you can't get any better than Robert Garcia, and the sparring you get in his gym in Southern California, that is top-notch sparring.
I mean, you have the likes of Virgil Ortiz, for God's sakes.
I remember Robert Garcia as a fighter, and it's very rare for you to have a professional trainer that's also won a world championship. So he's not only a world championship fighter, world championship trainer, and it's the sparring. You said it. They have some of the best sparring down there in Southern California. They work hard. Everything's perfect in that camp, and that's why they show it when they fight.
You know, it's interesting because I seldom see, like you mentioned, good partners when you have somebody who has been a fighter, then becomes a trainer. But in this case, Robert Garcia has been an extraordinary example, but his dad himself, Don Eduardo Garcia. So not only has he fed off his dad in terms of a fighter, but also in his training style. What makes Robert different?
The way he translates his advice, he keeps it simple. He doesn't try to over-explain things in the corner. He uses 60 seconds perfectly, gives you 2 or 3 instructions, and that's just something that comes from a fighter's experience. That comes from knowing what the fighter's going through, what he's seeing, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. I love listening to Robert Garcia in the corner. I love listening to him in the ring. He's my favorite trainer, and that's the reason he has so much success.
Well, I'm actually very lucky because I had a chance to hear Don Eduardo Garcia being in the corner of somebody like Fernando Vargas and also Mikey Garcia's corner. And he had one simple line, boxea bonito, fight pretty. I mean, how do you translate that? But I guess it's that communication fighter trainer.
Now, I remember being in camp in Big Bear. I was sparring Fernando Vargas, and I remember Grandpa Garcia. That's what we call Eduardo Garcia, and he was always in the corner. Robert Garcia was there, fabulous sparring. It's a family affair with them. Mikey Garcia was probably too young back then, but then he exceeded expectations, became a 4-division champion. I mean, they have the magic formula. They really have the magic formula, and it's happening in front of our eyes.
And it has definitely been a very busy week for Jesse Bam Rodriguez and all the fighters here, and obviously for Bam and Showbiz.
You did something that many people is disaster. Like as far as current history.
Yeah.
Caleb Plant was supposed to fight Charlo and then lost to Resendez, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Ryan Garcia supposed to fight Devin Haney. He loses to Roley,
Yep.
right? You have your fight coming up with Fernando, but you took on Cafu.
Yeah.
I even went to the press conference in New York. You weren't there.
Yeah, they wanted me to go though.
They wanted you to go,
Yeah,
but
they
you were
wanted me.
like, yo, I'm not going to do that.
It was like a week or 2 weeks from my fight, and I was like there's no way I'm gonna be able to do that, just because I was already like so deep into camp that I was. Besides the fact it was disrespectful to Cafu to even show up to the press conference, because that just, if I win, it would have looked like I was overlooking him, and that was never the case. I didn't even know the fight was gonna get announced, but it did, and I just had to stay focused on Cafu.
Well,
but in the
that's
back of my mind, I knew I had this fight lined up. So if I didn't get past Cafu, I would have never even got to the moment I'm in right now.
And now you focus on Martinez.
Now I'm here versus Martinez.
Yeah. How you feel about this guy?
I mean, I'm ready, man. This is the fight that I've been wanting for a while. Before the Cafu fight was announced, they were in negotiations with Martinez. He ended up fighting Ioka.
Yep.
So we went our separate ways, but now we're meeting up again, and I'm more than excited for this fight, especially being on the card that it's on. it's huge, man. I'm more excited for this fight than I was for Cafu. And I was main event for Cafu, so that just goes to show how hungry I am, how motivated I am for this.
Yeah, because that's a badass card, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that card is super lit. How
Top
do you
to
feel
bottom.
like, being a part of something like
Yeah.
that?
It's amazing, man. Being in Saudi, just having the opportunity to fight on a Ring magazine card, it's huge, bro. This is probably gonna be the biggest fight of my life. So going into this one, I'm 100% focused and motivated. I'm ready to go.
The one thing we cannot question is Bam's flawless work ethic. His motivation comes from within, and obviously that shows across the board in everything he does.
No, not only that, but we just mentioned it. Being in that Robert Garcia camp, that academy, I mean, they feed off each other. Every fighter feeds off each other. They see the other one working hard. And it's like, no, I'm not going to let him outwork me. Everyone just gets better in that gym. And Bam Rodriguez is alpha. He's at the top of that list.
Iron sharpens iron. And I want to get back to you, Mike, regarding Abdullah Mason. Very young. We've talked about his athleticism, his ability. But let's talk about the role that he plays as the ambassador for Ring Magazine. What kind of weight does that carry as he's actually here for Ring 4?
Yeah, look, right, this is a Ring 4 card, like you said, and there's not that many fighters that have that distinction of being a Ring ambassador. It means he's going to have a Ring Magazine patch on his trunks when he's fighting. He's waving the flag, and obviously it means he has the imprimatur of His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. You know, John Arrobio, good-looking fighter from Canada, Colombian, he's a Ring ambassador. Shushu Carrington, so these are only top-notch fighters. And Abdullah Mason so far, he's a guy, when you talk to people in the industry, Claudia, they think he could be the pound-for-pound #1 one day.
Wow. Let's talk about pressure. Once you have that, like an ointment, you can't let anybody down.
Anointment?
Yes.
He got blessed. He got blessed with talent. He got blessed by Turki Al-Sheikh. He got blessed by everyone that supports him, his promoter, because they see what we are seeing. The man has special talent, speed, power, size, length, and he has that amateur pedigree. These are all things that check every single box, and you want to invest your time, your money, and you want to put him in positions where he can shine.
But when we talk about his opponent, Noakes, who's coming, he's hungry, he's just as young, but he comes from a long line of fighters as well, with a country behind him, also carrying another flag. What does that do to a fighter as he's walking in with somebody who's already, you know, with the preference behind his back?
Yeah, look, you can't count on Sam Noakes here. Sam Noakes is actually rated in the Ring Magazine top 10. He's a big puncher. He's physical, like Sergio said. And this is his big shot, too, his first title fight. So he's looking to bring the title back to England. But he's going to have to deal with a guy in Mason who's such a flashy puncher. I mean, again, Mason's not proven yet, but when you talk about the eye test, right? You don't see many guys that look like Abdullah Mason.
I gotta admit, that smile, that confidence, he walked in that stage as we were doing the arrivals, and not a care in the world. He was unfazed by the crowd or the cameras. Could that be overconfidence stuff?
No, it's a quiet confidence. You want to see that in future champions. And Abdullah Mason, like I just said, he has all the things you need to be a world champion, and he has that confidence. But it's not that verbal confidence. It's that quiet storm. You know what's brewing. You know what he can do inside the ring. And he's getting a chance to really shine against an undefeated fighter who's going to be right there, right in front of him. The only way Sam Noakes wins this fight is by knockout. He's not going to outbox.
Wow.
I agree
He's
with
not
that.
going to outbox Mason. Mason's going to go for the knockout as well. Mason is susceptible to get hits. It's going to be exciting fights. It's going to be exciting while it lasts. Someone's getting knocked out.
The one thing I want to add, it is the WBO title, and let's not forget who was the guy that actually went all the way out of the country to look for that title. None other than Bud Crawford.
Terrence Crawford,
Yes.
yeah, that's right. I went over to Glasgow, Scotland, beat Ricky Burns, his first world title. And then you look at talking about locations. Abdullah Mason's from the rich boxing history of Ohio. Aaron Pryor, Kelly Pavlik, Ezra Charles. So he's looking to bring a title back to Cleveland, Ohio.
There you go. So this is just the beginning of the card. Let's take a quick look of what we can expect on Saturday, because we're going to start with the lightweights. Abdullah Mason, like we mentioned, facing Sam Noakes for the vacant WBO lightweight title. Also, we move up to the super flyweights, and there we see Bam, Jesse Rodriguez. He's putting his Ring Magazine and WBC title on the line against the WBA champion, Fernando El Puma Martinez. And obviously, we've already heard a lot. There's no love lost in the welterweight division. Devin Haney trying his luck at 147. seeking to capture the world title on his third weight division against the undefeated WBO welterweight champion Brian Norman Jr. And then it's the main event. The battle for the light heavyweight crown. David Benavidez defending his WBC title against Anthony Yarde, who looks to finally achieve his world championship dream on his third attempt. And now we're going to go to all the action with our master of ceremonies, Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final press conference for the Ring 4 Night of the Champions this Saturday, November 22nd from A&B Arena in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We would first like to give a special thank you to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority and the Saudi Boxing Federation, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. This event is being brought to you by Riyadh Season, Sella, Ring Magazine, Frank Warren for Queensberry, and Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, in association with Bob Arum for Top Rank Incorporated, Samson Boxing, Warriors Boxing, Devin Haney Promotions, and AY Promotions, along with their premium partners, Saudi Tourism Authority, STC, Saudi National Bank, Dr. Suleiman El Habib Medical Group, and Saudia. Their strategic partners, Mayar United, Arroyo Cruises, Sadia, Lucid Motors, SHG, and Azure. Their main sponsors, Pepsi and Arena Fitness Innovation, and their commercial partner, Prime. A big thanks to those great partners. Well, a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that this great event will be broadcasted live worldwide, exclusively on DAZN by now at DAZN.com. Let's now welcome our undercard press conference participants. Competing in a 10-round contest for the WBO Global Middleweight Championship, let's welcome the challenger, a native of Lagos, Nigeria, now fighting out of Novara, Italy, Samuel, the Black Panther in MoMA. The defending champion, the WBO Global Middleweight Champion from Roseland, New Jersey, USA, Vito White Magic Milnicki Jr. Competing in a 12-round contest for the vacant WBO Lightweight Championship of the World. Let's welcome, from Maidstone, Kent, England, Sam Midge Noakes. From Cleveland, Ohio, USA, Abdullah Mason. Competing in a 12-round contest for the WBC, WBO, and WBA Super Flyweight Championships of the World, and also the Ring Magazine Championship. Let's welcome, from La Boca, Buenos Aires, Argentina, he is the reigning and defending WBA Super Flyweight Champion of the World. Let's welcome Fernando El Puma Martinez. And let's welcome, from San Antonio, Texas, USA. He is the reigning and defending Ring Magazine Champion and the unified WBC and WBO Super Flyweight Champion of the World. Let's welcome Jesse Pam Rodriguez. And now we also welcome the CEO of Ring Magazine, Rick Reno, Vice President of Top Rank Incorporated, Carl Moretti, International Boxing Hall of Fame promoter, Frank Warren of Queensberry. And we will now hand things over to your host, the voice of DAZN Boxing, Mr. Todd Grisham.
Thank you for those few cheers and the big boo from Sergio Mora in the back. I am Todd Grisham. I'll be calling the fights ringside with Mike Coppinger and Sergio Mora. And as always, it's a real pleasure to be here in what has become the international home of boxing in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Riyadh. And of course, you can see it all live Saturday night on DAZN. The Ring has delivered some great cards in the past, but top to bottom, this may be the best of the best, no doubt about it, the fight card of the year. And with that, let's hear from the Ring Magazine CEO, Mr. Rick Reno. Rick, we've got 6 fighters here on the dais, 3 fights represented. What do you expect to see on Saturday night?
Well, first, I want to thank everyone for coming out to support this event. Wait a minute, is Eddie Hearn not here yet? Did his Bentley not show up to pick him up? Well, I guess he's busy sipping champagne back at the hotel, but we got 2 proper Brits here, so it'll do. This is an unbelievable card. You can't say enough about this event. You know, starting off, you got 2 young middleweights, Samuel and Vito. Big showcase for the 2 of them. You know, they're looking for their mark in the middleweight division. It's a big opportunity for them, one of them, to make a statement. Both of them are hungry, both of them are locked in, and I expect a pretty good scrap. And then we have, you know, you talk about a fight with high stakes involved. Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes, 2 undefeated guys, staking their reputation, their records, and one of them is going to walk out of that event as a world champion that night. And if you talk to pundits, you know, in the United States, you know, Abdullah's viewed as a future superstar, and they expect for him to make a statement performance. And when you talk to pundits in the UK, they view Sam Noakes as a future superstar, and they believe he's going to put in a knockout upset performance. Both of these guys could punch. Both of these guys could hit. I don't expect this fight to go to distance, and I believe we're going to get fireworks. Absolute fireworks, maybe from the first bell. And then you have unification, Bam Rodriguez, Puma Martinez, pound for pound, one of the best fights you can make in the lower weight classes, with the Ring Magazine title at stake. For years, people have been talking about this fight, what would happen if Bam and Puma meet in the ring. We're going to get it this Saturday night. We're going to get it. And I expect a scintillating fight. You know, from top to bottom, you know, when they say you're going to get your money's worth, this is one event where you're going to get your money's worth and then some. And I'll turn it back to you, Todd.
Thank you, Rick. Let's hear from a couple of the fighters, and we'll start to the far end to my right here with Vito Milnecki Jr. Vito, you're an extremely decorated amateur champion. So far as a pro, you've won 21 of your first 22 fights. How satisfied are you right now with your pro career?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to thank God. Without him, none of this is possible. I want to thank His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, Riyadh Season, the whole Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for hosting this event. And yeah, man, my professional career is off to a hot start. I had a great amateur career as well. But to be a part of an event of this magnitude, to have this stage to showcase my talent and to showcase that I'm on another level than this guy, this is exactly what I'm going to do on Saturday night.
All right, and you'll be taking on Samuel and MoMA. Samuel, a lot of people I'm sure are not too familiar with you. What kind of fighter are you, and what is your game plan as you face Vito on Saturday?
Yeah, actually, I want to thank everyone for coming, for giving me this opportunity. Thank Turki Al-Sheikh and Ring Magazine and everyone. I don't have actually a regular game plan. I'm here just to do war. And I think, Vito, you're ready, right?
What do you say? I can't understand.
He said, "Are you ready for me?"
Oh, 100%. Shit, I'm born ready for this. This is exactly what I do. I've been doing this since I'm 7 years old.
Good,
You
good,
ready?
good. Yeah, of course.
Well, Vito, what do you know about it?
100% ready.
see.
Don't worry.
We'll see.
Don't worry.
We'll see.
Don't worry.
We'll see.
Oh, don't worry.
We'll see.
Vito, what do you know about him? Are you impressed by what you've seen?
Yeah, he's a good fighter. Nothing I never seen before. I'm just excited. I'm excited to, like I said, be on this platform, to be able to showcase my talent. But yeah, he'll see you on Saturday night for sure.
Well, if everything goes your way Saturday night, what kind of statement are you trying to make to the boxing community? What will they be saying about you?
I'm here to make a statement in the whole middleweight division. I've had this is my third fight in the middleweight division, but this is my third straight undefeated opponent, and just ready to give him his first blemish.
Yeah, Samuel, I'll give you the last word here. You're unbeaten. You've been calling for a big fight. Why was Vito the opponent that you wanted?
Yeah, actually, when they take they give me the opportunity for this fight, I was so excited to sign the contract because Vito, I was already looking at you, man. Believe me, brother. Don't worry. We're gonna see on Saturday night.
Okay.
All right, well, we wish you both the best of luck. Now let's turn our attention to the WBO lightweight championship fight. Sam Noakes taking on Abdullah Mason, and we turn it over now to the Vice President of Top Rank, Carl Moretti. You're here. I know you've been high on Abdullah Mason for quite a while. He's only 21 years old. Why do you think he's ready for this fight right now?
First off, I'd like to thank everybody associated with the event for putting such a great card together. You know, with Sam Noakes and Abdullah, you got two contrasting styles. You know, Sam only knows how to knock people out and come forward. Abdullah can box and punch at the same time. I think the only southpaw that Sam has ever fought is Vincenzo Uniello, a fellow countryman. You know, he stopped him in fourth. But, you know, Abdullah Mason isn't Vincenzo Funiello. We know that for sure. So we wouldn't put our guys in fights that we don't think we can win. You know, and nowadays anybody can fight for a title, but the goal is to win the title. And on Saturday night, Top Rank will have the WBO lightweight champion with Abdullah Mason.
Well, let's turn it over now to the founder of Queensberry, Frank Warren. You heard what Carl had to say. They're very confident that they beat Sam Noakes on Saturday. What say you?
First of all, it's great to be here in the world's capital of boxing, Riyadh, for the Riyadh season and ring show. And what do I think of that comment? We're here with my man. He's undefeated, both undefeated fighters, the cracker of a fight. But let me tell you, he's one of the best young fighters in the UK. Everything's been done of him, he's asked. He's won title, every title on the way through, from British, Commonwealth, European, and now we're at the world title. And I'm telling you something, Abdullah is a good fighter, no doubt about it. But let me tell you, he's going to have his hands full. He ain't going to have to go looking for my man. Not at all. He'll be on him as soon as that first bell. And it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a fantastic, fantastic fight.
Well, let's hear now from Mr. Noakes. We all know the saying in boxing, styles make fights. Abdullah Mason can seemingly do it all. Why will your style be able to give him so many problems?
Listen, I think I've got one of them styles everyone keeps saying it's one-dimensional and all that, but I feel like from the outside it looks easy to deal with, but he'll find out Saturday that it's not going to be very easy to deal with.
Well, you're undefeated just like Mason, but you're a pretty substantial underdog in this fight. Why don't you think you're getting the respect you feel you deserve?
It don't really matter to me, to be honest, being the underdog. All that means is everyone betting on me is going to win a nice bit of money, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you win, for sure. Abdullah, you're only 21 years old, fighting for your first world title, and if you win, you'll become the youngest champion in boxing today. What are your long-term goals in this sport?
First off, I want to give a thanks to everyone that was involved in making this happen. You know, J Prince Boxing, Top Rank, my managers, and, you know, Ring Magazine, Turkey Other Sheikh. And I'm just here, man. I'm ready.
Well, you're undefeated. You've been nearly perfect, except for one moment in your career. I'm sure you remember it. You were knocked down twice in the first round. What did you learn about yourself in that round, and why are you confident that something like that won't happen again on Saturday?
That was definitely, you know, revealing, you know, a lot for the better. You know, it showed the resilience I had. It showed everything that was good. You know, showed the corner. It showed, you know, everything, you know, that a fighter needs in the ring. It showed that I had that. And, I'm ready to take it a step further this Saturday.
All right, Sam, you're from Maidstone, Kent, England. And according to my research, the most famous athlete from there is sprinter Jack Green, the Olympian. He didn't win any medals. But if you win Saturday night and take that world title back to your hometown, what will the scenes look like?
Well, that's news to me. That's a fact. I didn't know that he come from me. I didn't even know that. No, but I think, listen, obviously bringing it back, I've got quite a few people coming out, and it's just going to be just brilliant for me and obviously the fans and all my hometown as well.
All right, well, what's your prediction for Saturday? What are we going to see?
Sam Noakes knockout.
Sam Noakes knockout. Abdullah, what happens?
Boxing gets to gain its new favorite young talent, and I'm going to be dominating the lightweight division from Saturday on forward.
All right, well, we wish you both the best of luck.
Thank you.
And now we turn our attention to a fight in the super flyweight division, two of the best in the world, no doubt about it, for the WBO, WBC, WBA, and Ring Magazine world titles. Puma Martinez taking on Bam Rodriguez. We'll start with Puma. I'm sure a lot of people that will be watching Saturday night aren't that familiar with you as they are with Bam. How would you describe your style, and why have you been so successful in your career?
Sí, en primer lugar, Fernando, bienvenido. Obviamente, supongo que mucha gente no habrá visto mucho de ti, pero sí de Bam Rodríguez. ¿Por qué crees que puedes describir un poco tu estilo y por qué crees que ese estilo ha sido tan exitoso para ti hasta la fecha?
Bueno, muy buenas noches a todos. A Arabia Saudita, gracias por la oportunidad. La verdad que me siento muy agradecido, gracias a Dios, de estar en un evento tan enorme como este, algo histórico para la Argentina también. Y bueno, nosotros tenemos mucha experiencia. Yo tengo toda la experiencia, peleé con grandes campeones y bueno, fui a la Olimpiada también, así que estamos preparados para ganar todos los títulos.
Yeah, so first of all, I want to say thank you to Saudi Arabia for the opportunity. Also, thanks to God for allowing me to be at such an enormous historic event here for me and for Argentina. And, you know, in terms of what we've got, well, we're very experienced. We've fought against some big champions along the way, you know, and I've also been to the Olympics, so I feel that we're completely prepared to win this fight on Saturday.
All right, let's hear now from the CEO of Matchroom. According to Rick Reno, you were sipping champagne in your Bentley. That's why you were late here to the dais. But you're here with Bam Rodriguez. You've got a lot of great fighters on your roster, no doubt about it. But from day one, you told us he was going to be a pound-for-pound star. Are you surprised with just how good he's become so soon?
Yeah, thanks, Todd. Just firstly, thank you to, of course, Turki Al-Sheikh, everybody involved with the Ring Magazine. It's incredible to be back in Riyadh after what was a breathtaking event last week. Another ring card at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Over 60,000 people saw a very, very sweet night when Conor Benn beat Chris Eubank Jr. This is the night of the champions this week in Riyadh, but let's be honest, this is the main champion here. I know he's probably too humble to say it, but this is the guy. This is everybody's favourite fighter in boxing. This is every fighter on the card's favourite fighter. And it's definitely one of our favourite fighters. I think the only reigning Ring Magazine champion on this card. This guy's done it all. And like I said, Todd, the man down there, there's two men particularly. Robert Garcia, of course, his incredible trainer, and Kevin Rooney as well. They told me about this guy for years and years. And at just 1 week's notice, he stepped up 2 divisions to win the world title, to beat Carlos Cuadras, and he's never looked back. He beat Rung Visai after that. Then he stepped down to the flyweight division to win the world title. He unified against Sonny Edwards. Then he went up and beat Estrada. Then he unified against Cafu, and now he's attempting to unify again. Like I said, some incredible fighters on this card, but this is the real pound-for-pound star, already top 5 pound-for-pound. And Jesse Bam Rodriguez is 25 years of age. And it's so good to see the younger weight classes get the recognition, because this guy has got all the talent in the world. And on a card that is full of just incredible boxers, what you're watching here is one of the greatest fighters of our generation. And this fight against Puma Martinez is one of the best fights in the sport. But you will see once again why this young man is very special. And of course, most of all, we want to say congratulations to the birth of his son yesterday, which is a wonderful thing to go back to when he's got another belt round his waist. But, you know, to him, to Robert Garcia and the whole team, this journey has been incredible, and like I said, of all the incredible fighters on the card, I truly believe this man is the future pound-for-pound star of the sport at 25 years of age.
Yeah, congratulations. Certainly in order for Ban, your new son, Milo, born just yesterday. How hard was it for you to make the decision to be here instead of with your wife and child halfway around the world? Certainly not an easy decision for you, I'm sure.
I mean, yeah, we knew the date was going to fall close to the fight day, so we kind of just planned how things were going to go out, and they planned exactly the way we expected. But, you know, that's just more fuel to the fire. That's more motivation to go out there and get the win. And, no, it's all for him. Him and my daughter, this is what it's all about. This is what I do it for. So come Saturday night, I'm going to come out victorious and take these belts back to both of them.
Well, Puma Martinez has promised to push you harder than you've ever been pushed before. We know all about his relentless pressure. How do you counter that, and do you believe his style suits your style?
Just tune in to the zone on Saturday night. You'll see. You see that why Eddie Hearn just said what he said about me. I'm a special fighter. I'm going to go out there and prove that to everyone once again. And, yeah, I mean, this is just going to be another fantastic performance from myself, and I'm just ready to go out there and get the job done.
Well, Puma, you know how much hype surrounds Bam Rodriguez. He's on everybody's pound-for-pound list. He's beaten absolute legends in the sport, Sariskat Sarungvasai, Carlos Cuadras, El Gallo Estrada. Why do you think they couldn't beat him and you can?
Sí, entonces cuando hablamos de Bam Rodríguez, sabemos que se emociona mucha gente de él porque él se ha enfrentado a unos boxeadores, unas leyendas del boxeo, por ejemplo, como Rungvisai, Cuadras, Gallo Estrada. Estos oponentes no pudieron con él. ¿Por qué crees que tú puedes con él?
Porque todavía no se enfrentó al verdadero Puma que tiene la Argentina. Hay un Puma que ruge y que tiene todo el poder, tiene toda la experiencia y se lo va a comer a Iván Rodríguez.
Because he's never faced a Puma Martinez from Argentina, and he's never felt a ferocious Puma from Argentina who is going to eat up Bam Rodriguez on Saturday night.
Well, you certainly got a lot of supporters here from Argentina. You've gotten very emotional when you described the former fighters of your country, how you're representing them in the entire country of Argentina. If you pull off the win on Saturday night, how big of a victory will this be for you and your country?
Sí, obviamente tienes mucho apoyo aquí. Vimos que te emocionaste ayer cuando hablabas de Argentina. Si llegas a ganar esta pelea, ¿qué tan grande sería esta pelea y esa victoria? No solamente para ti, sino también para la Argentina.
No, la verdad que es algo histórico para la Argentina. Ningún peleador ha peleado, ha ganado tantos títulos en una pelea. Y bueno, yo quiero eso, quiero marcar mi nombre en la historia con los grandes boxeadores que tiene la Argentina tanto tiempo, ¿no? Que tiene mucho legado la Argentina, y quiero convertirme en un gran campeón para toda la Argentina, loco.
Yes, so to be honest, it's a massive fight for me, and I think it would be totally historic for Argentina. You know, there's never been a fight in which an Argentinian has fought to unify so many belts in just one fight. And I want to make my mark, and I want to be up there with the big names that Argentina has. So I want to be up there with the great champions and become a legend in Argentina.
Well, we wish you luck. What's your official prediction for Saturday, Puma?
Deseamos toda la suerte. ¿Cuál es tu pronóstico oficial para esta pelea?
Esta pelea la gano por nocaut.
I win this fight by knockout.
Well, Bam, a lot of people are predicting this to be maybe a fight of the year, an all-out war. Do you agree with that? Do you think it's going to be that type of fight, or do you see yourself in a one-sided dominant victory on Saturday?
Honestly, this fight, it ends how I want. I can take it the distance, or I can stand there and end the night early as well. So, I mean, whatever I'm feeling that night, I'll go out there and make it happen.
Well, he's feeling a knockout on Saturday. What's your official prediction? And don't be shy, please, Bam.
I just know I'm going to win. My hand's going to be raised at the end of the night. I'm going to take that belt, take these belts back to my children, and that's that.
All right, how about a round of applause for all our fighters here on the stage? We're going to clear the dais for the first half of our press conference and bring up the final three fights of the night. But right now, how about we stare these guys down?
Well, those were some strong statements right there from Bam Rodriguez. There's a lot of confidence. And Puma challenging the champion, saying, I'm going to knock him out. What are your thoughts on that?
You have to love hearing that from Puma, right? I mean, you're not going to beat a great fighter like Bam unless you're feeling it.
You're not going to outbox Bam. So the only way, the only path for victory for Puma Martinez is by knockout. And we know that you know, when you have power, when you have aggression, you have a chance. You have a puncher's chance, and this man has a whole country on his shoulders, on his back, supporting him. So he can maybe do something great Saturday night.
Well, guess what? There's some words being exchanged right there between Eddie and Rick Reno. Rick Reno had some interesting words to say about Eddie Hearn as he walked in. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, look, Eddie's done a great job with Bam Rodriguez, and Bam, he's a pound-for-pound great, but I like seeing him show a little bit more of his personality like he did up there, saying that he's going to end the fight however he wants to end it.
And here we have Mielnicki. This is a guy that we've known for a long time. What can we expect? Mielnicki coming back into the ring here in Riyadh.
Well, these two, the fact that he's still, you know, being undefeated. And
these two competing Saturday in a scheduled 10-round contest for the WBO Global Middleweight Championship. It's the challenger, Samuel the Black Panther in MoMA, versus the defending champion, Vito White Magic Mielnicki Jr.
The challenger right there, Mielnicki. He's been around for a while. He wants to take on another opportunity for a title.
Mielnicki, yes, Vito Mielnicki. I'm sorry, I misunderstood the first time.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, I've been following him for some time from the PBC days. Once beaten, that was a split decision loss that he could have won. So he carries himself like an undefeated fighter. Good boxer, puncher, moves around the ring, tall for the weight division, and hungry. I mean, he's already at the point where he deserves a title shot, and with one big win, he's going to be there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the WBO global middleweight title is, but, you know, these sanctioning bodies.
Oh, well, he's challenging for that title, but we all know what African fighters bring to the table. We know exactly the type of cloth they're made of. There's a lot of grit, there's a lot of power. We've talked about perhaps they lack the finesse of a true boxer, but they sure can brawl.
Well, they have that African spirit, you know, but this is one fighter that doesn't carry power. So you're going to have to outbox someone like Mielnicki or get on the inside and hurt him to the body. But either way, I mean, these guys are both winners. There's an opportunity of a lifetime for Samuel and MoMA, and of course for Mielnicki to get back on top.
Mielnicki's getting a little bit flustered here. What's up?
Hey, not surprised. He's on fire, right? He's an Italian guy from New Jersey. So, you know, I used to live in New Jersey, and they have a lot of fire over there. And he's looking good. Look at that suit. He's well dressed for the occasion. Vito Mielnicki, a lot of personality. I still think he can be a star if the fighting can match the personality and the charisma.
Can it though? Let's hope and pray they're willing to just keep the hands tight before Saturday.
I love selling the fight, but I don't like physical altercations because, come on, man, you don't fight for free. You know, you don't fight for free. Your paycheck's on the line. Wait till Saturday.
Sir, just always thinking about the paycheck. You're always what?
Hey, listen, we're businessmen first, and then we're fighters.
Really? I thought it was the other way around.
Collect that check.
Hey, speaking of, right, we have Devin Haney coming up soon. He got a hefty fine a couple of years ago when he fought Vasily Lomachenko, sent him flying on the stage. And that's where he really can get injuries out, but he sold the fight well.
There you go. Look, there's a difference between promoting the fight and then, you know, risking the fight.
And Devin told me that was the last time he was going to pull such a move. He said he wanted to keep that money.
Well, I think he learned his lesson.
It's a battle of the undefeated. 12-round schedule for the vacant WBO Lightweight Championship of the World. Sam Midge Noakes versus Abdullah Mason.
So much confidence in these two fighters. Noakes obviously understanding what he got the memo. He knows what the mission is. But Abdullah Mason has other plans. There's a lot of confidence in that smile.
Both these guys are confident because they carry themselves with that undefeated record. They know a title's on the line. Both of them from different sides of the world. This is going to be an exciting fight, a great opener on the main card. Someone's O has to go. Sam Noakes needs to get on the inside, make it a physical fight. And we know Abdullah Mason is there to get hit. He's vulnerable. He has been dropped, but that's because he's always looking to be exciting, going for the knockout. This is going to be a fan-friendly fight. Buckle up.
We looked at those long arms. You mentioned 74 inches reach. That's a lot.
For a lightweight, 135 pounds. That's David,
middleweight.
That's David Benavidez's
Oh,
reach.
really? That's light heavyweight.
That's what I'm saying. So this is a special fighter.
Competing Saturday in a 12-round contest for the WBC, WBO, WBA, and Ring Magazine Super Flyweight Championships of the World. It's the WBA champion, Fernando El Puma Martinez, versus the Ring Magazine champion and the unified WBC, WBO champion, Jesse Bam Rodriguez.
And there you go. That's Puma being Puma, the Argentinian. Really looking for a reaction from Bam Rodriguez that we know he has been so cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, like, Claudia, you live in Miami. I used to live there too. And
We
a lot
know.
of Argentines there, they have a lot of spice, right? A lot of confidence. And again, I think Pete Martinez is being overlooked. I'm not picking him, don't get me wrong. There's nobody I would pick over Bam at 115 pounds. But I think Puma's going to make him work harder than he's ever had to work before.
This is going to be a style clash. You know, Puma's going to have to get on the inside, make it physical. He's a hooking type fighter. But when it comes to Bam Rodriguez, he's there 1 minute and then he gets an angle and disappears. So you better be smart with that aggression or you're going to run into some shots from that southpaw stance. And we know Bam is a great fighter.
Well, all I'm saying is there's a lot of hardware right there on that stage. Bam Rodriguez looking to take everything, like he said, taking it home to his kids, because now he's plural. Talk to me, Goose.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say about Bam, right, I think that a lot of people forget, is he was a guy that no promoter wanted to sign. He was fighting on top-rank undercards over and over and over as a free agent. He fought on some PBC undercards. They had the chance, they didn't sign him. Eddie Hearn did.
And he did a great job. Well, we've heard from the undercard fighters, but before we move on to the main card, here's a reminder to head over to the locker room on DAZN.com for all your fight week build-up.
The Locker Room, the new home of DAZN's boxing content. All your big hitters, all in one place.
I am not going to stop until I am pulled off of this guy.
Daniel, don't disrespect you. Daniel, don't disrespect you. I personally think you're a bit of a don't really like you.
Welcome on board the rivalry line.
I do not want to be average. I fear being average.
More exclusive content than ever before.
You look at that blood, you remember what's coming.
Welcome to Inside the Ring, boxing's official show of record. I'm your host, Max Keller.
Where boxing lives, breathes, and never stops.
I never thought being with Matchroom I'd be doing stuff like that.
Weekly content from all your favourite creators, promoters, and influencers. The Locker Room, only on DAZN, the global home of boxing.
And our main event stars come together across the face-off table, delivering their raw, unfiltered thoughts on each other as they make their final predictions before fight night. Go behind the ropes with an exclusive all-access look inside Devin Haney's intense Colorado training camp in the latest installment of our On the Ground series. Super flyweight champion Jesse Bam Rodriguez takes to the streets with the one and only Showbiz, the adult, to reveal what truly makes the championship tick. See it all on DAZN.com.
At DAZN, it's game on. Watch every Serie A match this season. Hear the Tifosi roar. Derby days like no other. Where football is faith in Europe's toughest division. Plus, highlights from La Liga and Bundesliga. And relive iconic moments with FIFA Plus. All in one place all season long. Watch now on DAZN.
So we got a chance to see Bam Rodriguez having a nice little exchange with Puma Martinez. There was a lot of shoving and pushing. Obviously, the Argentinian has no respect for Jesse Bam Rodriguez, his power, his accolades. Look at that. Absolutely no respect. And that, my friend, is a very important factor when you're coming all the way to Riyadh looking to unify all the titles.
Well, you want to show that you belong. You know, you're a champion as well, and you're not intimidated by the champion in Bam Rodriguez. You know, a little push, a little shove. It's good for the camera, good for the fans, but he's still going to have to get in there and face this monster in Bam Rodriguez. But you're not going to play psychological games with a guy like Bam. I mean, it's an action-type fight. Styles make fights. It should be a good one.
Yeah, with Bam, you don't want to play mind games, like you said, because he's always so calm, cool, and collected. The one that has lost a lot of his bearings, or both of them, I should say, because there was a lot of pushing and shoving, a lot of talk back, and that was between Devin Haney and Norman Jr. And let's add the fact that the parents, both fathers, were also having an exchange. There's a lot of tension there, especially thinking Devin Haney is trying his luck for the first time at 147 pounds, but there's a lot of confidence walking into this division.
Yeah, and there should be, Claudia. I mean, Devin Haney is one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world and has been for a long, long time. He might not be in the top 10 on most lists right now, but he has that kind of talent, that kind of pedigree. He has a win over Vasily Lomachenko on his record, and his opposition is light years better than Brian Norman's.
Wait, but it was Vasily in a completely different division. You know what it takes to be a champ at 147.
Well, look, Vasily was a great champion, a future Hall of Famer, but he was a lighter fighter, and he was able to compete, if not beat. A lot of people thought Devin Haney might have lost that fight, but still, he won the fight. He won a title at 140, beating Regis Prograis. Now he's going to 147. He wasn't a puncher at lightweight. He's definitely not going to be a puncher at 147, but the audacity, the courage of Devin Haney and Team Devin Haney and Matchroom, everyone that believes in him, they keep putting him up champion after champion, and his resume proves it. He's the goods. Devin Haney really has lived a dream-like career, and this is just an opportunity for him to continue that dream.
Well, let's talk about that tension, because like you said, he has the audacity to challenge somebody at 147. But let's talk about the dads. Bill Haney, we know he's a man of a lot of words. He was very curt with us. As a matter of fact, Norman Sr. was also very sharp. He didn't say much, but there was a lot of exchange in there behind the scenes. Is that going to add to the tension in the ring?
Yeah, I think it can't help to, right? Because not only are they fathers, but they're the trainers as well. And Brian Norman Sr. was a fighter himself, not an accomplished fighter, but a fighter nonetheless. Brian Norman Jr., I think people forget, you know, he wasn't well regarded by Top Rank and by anybody in the game. He was as an amateur, and then he was kind of like one of those guys where maybe he's not going to fulfill his potential. He wasn't supposed to win that title against Giovanni Santi, and then he did it in fashion. Brutal stoppage in the 10th round.
Well, sorry, sir.
Not only that, but Norman Sr. was also a fighter. So there's that. You know, when it comes to Bill Haney, he's more of a promoter dad. He's more of a, you know, selling his son. But Norman Sr., he knows what Junior's going through. He knows what Junior's got. And it's an incredible chemistry between both of them. So, yeah, they're defending their legacy, their name, and that's what you want to see on the big stage.
And those are very big last names. Just take a quick look at that kind of tension for this bout on 147 pounds.
Devin, I'll start with you. There was a few opponents tossed around for you over the last few months. First it was Ryan Garcia, then it was Teofimo Lopez, and now here we are with you set to face Brian Norman. Why was this the right fight for you?
No, I mean, he's the best guy right now at 147. He was the best guy that was willing to step up and fight me, so here we are.
Brian, you're coming off a sensational knockout win over Jin Sasaki, maybe the knockout of the year at the end of it.
Knockout of the decade.
Knockout of the decade. We'll go with that too. You're doing a title defense here. Why was this the right fight for you?
It's just who I am as a person. I love fighting the best, and like everybody say, he is the perfect style to beat me. I don't have feet. I don't have defense, necessarily speaking, jab defense, as they say. So he is the blueprint to beat me. So now I got to show y'all that I can do everything.
Of course he got power, but he's got power against guys we've never seen. I do think that he can punch. Don't get me wrong. I do think that he has power, but he's showing it against guys we've never seen before. I don't know these guys that he fought.
Jack, you don't know him, don't mean nothing, Jack.
No, I've been boxing for how long? I've been at this top level.
Just because you don't know
the people don't know these people. The world don't know these niggas.
I don't give a damn what these folks know or don't know. I know when I carry these
gloves. No, I do believe that. I do believe that you got power.
I might touch your arm and your ankle go break.
Yeah, okay. Sound good. It sound good.
I'm finna turn your meniscus.
It sound good.
You ever had your torn meniscus, brother?
And it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna never happen. You ain't gonna do it.
Walk out with an ankle brace on.
You ain't gonna do it.
Bring a back brace.
You ain't gonna do it.
It's all right,
Knock
brother.
it off.
It ain't gonna be too. It ain't gonna be
He's really a bum.
Make it real
That's
short
really, I really didn't want to say nothing,
real
but
short,
he's
real
really
sweet.
he's really a bum.
You know
I never
what
even
I'm
heard of this 2 years ago.
Once again,
he
the
just came out of
name
nowhere.
don't
He's nobody.
matter.
He's nobody.
The name
no,
don't matter. I'm finna
no,
make a name after this one. ATL stand up,
good.
baby.
Sound good.
ATL stand up.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just yeah. It sounds like two kids in, like grammar school and like, well, guess what? My daddy's going to beat your daddy. But let's talk about daddies, because we have 4 fighters that are being trained by their parents, by their fathers, and one of them happens to be Jose Benavidez training David Benavidez. And of course, a very busy man on Saturday night. He's going to have 3 fighters, obviously closing out with the main event. But what does it mean for somebody like David Benavidez, who's fought the biggest, the baddest, the strongest, coming here and facing somebody who's looking for the 3rd time an opportunity to take a title? What does that mean for somebody like Benavidez?
I think it's a really tough challenge for David Benavidez. Anthony Yarde is battle-tested. He went to Russia to fight Sergey Kovalev, right? A ferocious puncher. He was like 2 punches away from knocking Kovalev out. Couldn't do it, gassed out, and then he still, to this day, gave Beterbiev his toughest fight until Beterbiev lost to Dmitry Bivol in February. So I think Anthony Yarde is ready for the opportunity, but he has a lot in front of him. He's a big underdog for a reason.
What are your thoughts, Sergio?
I personally have never liked the father-son trainer-boxer relationship, because I've seen a lot of relationships ruined, growing up, because the fathers don't let their son become their own man. And recently, I've been seeing that dynamic change. I kind of see that there's been a lot of success. I would think the first one that really gave me some kind of optimism with that was with Sean Porter, and his father. Even though it was more militant, it worked.
Kenny,
Kenny Porter. So I'm seeing more and more Virgil Ortiz and Senior. So yeah, I think when it works great. When it doesn't, it can go haywire. But we know that it's working tonight.
But let's talk about it being already tested, because Don Jose Benavidez already trained Jose Jr. and he took him to a world championship, and he's took him to highs and lows in his career. And obviously David was coming along, and he actually took in a lot of his brother's experience. And as we were talking with Don Benavidez, Don Jose, he was telling me how it's been a learning process for himself as well. Not just as a trainer, but testing himself as a dad and being able to separate, like you mentioned, I'm not just a dad, I'm here to do a job.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about, the chemistry, the dynamic, and the relationship, because you can ruin the more important relationship, that's being your son, for trying to make a man and a champion out of the boxer. You can ruin what's really important, but it's working out for them, and he's doing a great job with other fighters as well. So we know that David Benavidez is pound for pound. He is the truth. He is part of that Benavidez legacy, and they're proud of it.
Well, we look at like the Bill Haneys, obviously in the case of Norman Sr., we see that these men always have the best interest at heart, obviously, but who knows the son better than the dad himself? So I think that also adds to an advantage for any fighter. They know when to call it quits, they know when to push, they know how hard they can push.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of times, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I've seen a lot of times where I let the father sometimes let the son take a little bit too much punishment because they think they have more. That's when I don't like it. That's when the relationship hurts them, because the father's living vicariously through the son. Like I said, I don't want to get negative here, right? But I've seen a lot of good with the father-son relationship, trainer relationship, and I've seen more bad in my career.
Well, I like those intangibles in those relationships, and I think it's very individualized based on the partnership. Right. And when we're talking about partnerships, let's talk about Anthony Yarde, who's coming to this fight with a huge loss, with James Cook passing away. That was his strength and conditioning coach since he was in the amateurs. So that could be one of those intangibles, because that was a long relationship, and now he's not with him. Could that actually make or break a fighter?
Well, I haven't personally experienced that, but it's motivation. I mean, if that was a person in your team that provided so much, that brought so much to your corner, that voice is still going to be in your ear whether he's there in physical presence. So it's motivation. It all depends on the fighter, but anytime you have someone that's gone and it's still there with spirit, you fight with that spirit.
And the third time is a charm. You think he has what it takes when you're taking somebody like Benavidez, who's obviously battle-tested. He already has the hardware, and we all know the kind of weight he can carry. What does that mean for Anthony?
Look, it's a tough style matchup for Anthony Yarde. David Benavidez is a much faster puncher. He's one of the fastest punchers at that kind of the higher weights, and he throws with volume. So Anthony Yarde's gonna have to punch with David Benavidez, and he's gonna have to exert himself on the inside, I think, and make this a tough physical fight.
So to take a better look at what Anthony Yarde is all about, what he's bringing to the table, let's take a quick look at his camp, because he's gonna bring a lot to the table.
Having this much time to prepare, I feel like it's going to be the difference.
It's not a case of making any excuses. It's just that we've never had this amount of time to prepare for a fight. And one thing I can say is every time we've had time to prepare, it's worked out well.
I'm going to go out there and win this fight. And it's going to be one of them situations where the world's going to be shocked. Well, I'm just gonna be myself. I'm always confident. If you look at my fights, going into the Kovalev fight, confident. Going into the Benavidez fight, confident. If you're not confident in boxing, you're in the wrong sport.
A journey, to say the least. Right back from before he turned professional, I was training him for about 18 months, almost 2 years before he actually turned professional, and it's just been a joy from day one, to be honest.
So I was meant to get my hair done for the cameras, but I like to look sexy on camera for all the girls that are watching.
This is a hairdressing salon, man.
Because you know, though, I was singing. I was actually fighting. As I was saying, I was meant to get my hair done for the girls. Bob, I'm talking to someone. Go away.
You say he looks at me.
Bob, go away, man.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
See that? Left hook in the eye.
I slipped it.
But
try again.
Look,
no, man.
That's two. That's two. Try.
Let's go, man.
Well, we know that Anthony Yarde has faced a lot of adversity. Both parents passed during COVID. He now loses his strength and conditioning coach. But the one thing he never loses is motivation, like you mentioned, and that big, bright smile. And that takes a fighter a long way.
Anthony Yarde is a unit. When you see him in person, he looks like a football player. He's muscular, and we know he has the resume. He has the power. He actually has more power than Benavidez. They both have 30 fights, but he has a higher knockout ratio. And the confidence, the fact that he already went through that fire, he already knows what to expect with these big champions. Maybe a third time's the charm. It really is. This is going to be an exciting fight, and this is another fight where someone's going to get knocked out.
I gotta say, Sergio, I'm not so sure that Yarde has more power than Benavidez. Benavidez has only had 2 fights at 175. He's still getting settled at the weight, and Yarde's knockouts were against lesser fighters. Benavidez is fighting David Morrell and Alexander Vozik. Let's see on Saturday who has more power, right?
Oh, he's got to come back.
Well, I can guarantee you that man right there, Anthony Yarde, is a natural 175-pounder. We already seen Benavidez get dropped by a non-puncher in David Morrell. If Yarde catches Benavidez like Morrell did, it's not going to be the same story. So, pound for pound power is definitely on Anthony Yarde's part.
Oh, well, just in case you missed it, this is a hell of an exchange right here. But let's go back to the action at the dais, because Thomas Schreiber is waiting for us.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the final press conference for Ring 4, Night of Champions, an evening of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment. And it goes down Saturday night at the A&B Arena, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. A special thanks, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and to the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority and Saudi Boxing Federation, His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh. And it's all presented by Riyadh Season, Ring Magazine, the Bible of Boxing, Sella, Frank Warren for Queensberry, and Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing. The co-feature is presented in association with Bob Arum's Top Rank Boxing and Devin Haney's Promotions. The main event in association with Samson Boxing and AY Promotions. And it's all brought to us along with our premium partners, Saudi Tourism Authority, STC, Saudi National Bank, Dr. Suleiman Al Habib Medical Group, and Saudia. Strategic partners are Mayor United, Arroyo Cruises, Sadia, Lucid Motors, SHG, and Azure. Our main partners, Pepsi and Arena Fitness Innovation, and commercial partner is Prime. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind everybody that the entire event is broadcast live on DAZN worldwide. And for those of you who can't make it to the arena, go to DAZN.com, DAZN.com, and you'll be able to find a way to see the fight. Well, seated behind me, ladies and gentlemen, from Ring Magazine, CEO Rick Reno, Hall of Fame promoter Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions. The head trainer for Devin Haney is Bill Haney. Top-ranked vice president for boxing operations, Carl Moretti. And the head trainer for Brian Norman Jr. is Brian Norman Sr. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the stars of the show for our final two contests. Fight fans' dream indeed. The co-feature, 12 rounds of boxing in the welterweight division, and it is for the WBO Welterweight Championship of the World. The challenger, a perfect record, 32 fights, 32 victories, 15 wins by knockout, fighting out of Oakland, California, USA. He's the former undisputed lightweight world champion, the former super lightweight world champion, a two-division, two-time world champion, challenging the undefeated Devin the Dream Haney. It's undefeated versus undefeated. And the champion fighting out of Decatur, Georgia, USA. Also a perfect record. 28 fights, 28 victories, 22 big wins by knockout. Ranked number 1 in the world in the welterweight division by the Bible of Boxing Ring Magazine. He is the reigning, defending, undefeated WBO welterweight champion of the world, the Assassin 2. Brian Norman Jr. Our final contest of the evening. Once again, this is a fight fan's dream. The featured bout, 12 rounds of boxing for the light heavyweight championship of the world, sanctioned by the WBC and the WBA. The challenger, ranked number 4 in the world by Ring Magazine, 27 victories, 24 of those 27 by KO, 3 defeats. From London, England, the beast from the East, Anthony Yarde. And his opponent, fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, USA. His professional record, a perfect one. 30 fights, 30 victories, 24 big wins by knockout. He's a two-time world champion, former super middleweight world champion, and the reigning, defending, undefeated WBC, WBA, light heavyweight champion of the world, the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. Everybody's in place, ladies and gentlemen. Let me turn it over to our host. He is from DAZ and the Zone, Mr. Todd Grisham.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Welcome once again to what has become the international home of boxing, Riyadh, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And you heard me say it earlier, this is the fight card of the year. And I believe the proof is in the pudding, as we say in the United States. The 8 fighters featured on our main card have a combined record of 193 wins, only 3 losses, with 137 knockouts. Truly incredible numbers, and we're all expecting an incredible night this Saturday. Let's turn it over first now to the CEO of Ring Magazine, Rick Reno. Rick, we basically got 2 main events here on the dais right now, do we not?
These are 2 absolutely smashing fights. I mean, in the first contest, you know, when Devin went up to the welterweight division, you know, Devin has a big enough name that he could have picked anybody to fight. But he wanted the smoke. He wanted the guy that nobody wanted to fight. He wanted to go against one of the most dangerous punchers in the weight division, another undefeated guy in WBO world champion, Brian Norman Jr. You know, a lot of people view this fight as speed versus power. But, you know, Brian's made it clear that he's bringing a lot more than power to this fight, and Devin's made it clear that he's bringing a lot more than speed. Absolutely intriguing contest, and you have varying opinions, and that's when you know you have a good fight, when there's varying opinions on who might come out on top. And the main event, you know, when you have 2 guys who are called the Mexican Monster and the Beast, you can't go wrong in that fight. An absolute tear-up. Both guys are coming for war. David's never been in a bad fight. Anthony's never been in a bad fight. This is one of those contests where don't take a bathroom break. Don't walk away from your seat. Don't blink. It could be dynamite from the first round on. Both guys are coming for war. It's going to be one unbelievable event with fight after fight after fight. You got multiple fights on this card that could have headlined on their own, individually, anywhere, and we're getting it all one night, exclusively on the Zone this Saturday in Riyadh, and I'll turn it back to you, Todd.
Thank you, Rick. Let's now turn our attention to the promoter for Brian Norman Jr., Mr. Carl Moretti, the Vice President of Top Rank. Carl, you've known about this fighter for a long time. He might be the best kept secret in boxing. What makes Brian Norman so special?
Well, Saturday night you'll see why for sure. But, you know, I really can't wait for this show. I can't wait for this fight. I can't wait for social media. I've never seen so many experts in my life come out and tell Devin what to do and tell Brian what to do, and then see what they say after the fight, because they're all going to be wrong. It's one of the, you know, it's the best fight in the welterweight division. Whoever wins this, I can't wait to see who doesn't call out the winner. But, you know, it's been a trip the whole time. We're very confident in what Brian Norman can do. Bill Haney's been selling this fight from start to finish. He's a trip, man. He's one of a kind. He kind of reminds me of the captain of the Titanic who's bragging that he saw the iceberg. Well, Brian Norman's the iceberg, and we know how that worked out for everybody. So we can't wait for the bell to ring Saturday night.
All right, let's bring in Brian Norman Jr.'s trainer, his father, Brian Norman Sr. We expect the fight to be outstanding in the ring, but outside of the ring, the build-up has been just as exciting, especially the back and forth between you and Bill Haney. You guys were going at it just a few minutes ago. You said your son's going to knock out Devin in the ring, and you've already knocked out Bill Haney verbally. Why is there so much animosity between you two?
Listen, first of all, I know Carl may not know or keep up with everything, but Bill been missing. Everybody know he been missing. You understand what I'm saying? Bill was missing for 2 months. Bill will come back, he'll get beat up, he'll go away again. Bill come back, he say he locked in, he say he locked in. Man, you're looking for excuses. We're not worried about that. You understand what I'm saying? Brian Norman Jr., it's time for him to show who he really is. Devin Haney is the perfect opponent to show who he really is. We know his accolades. We know all of his, everything that he's achieved or whatever else. I think he's tailor-made for Brian Norman Jr. to beat, and I think he's tailor-made for Brian Norman Jr. to become a star. I think this whole situation, the table is set, and all Brian Norman Jr. got to do is go eat. That's it.
All right, let's let Bill Haney have the mic now. I'm sure you have plenty to say about Brian Norman Sr.
and Brian Norman Jr.
Well, first, I want to thank Allah for this opportunity. It's been quite a journey, you know, and I'm going to ask for all the patience in him to give me to not just go in on that clown over there. You dig what I'm saying? But first, let me acknowledge the star-studded cast, both on the stage right now and those that's behind the stage to make this thing happen. I've had quite some mentors in this business. I see Jay over there, you know what I mean, with Abdullah Mason, a tremendous talent who's fighting for a championship, something that dreams are made of. He comes from a great family of boys and men that's been standing on business, and now they have their opportunity. Of course, you got the Benavidezes who paved the way and trailblazed the way for guys like us to be independent. He started at like 16, 17, and I've been tapped in with Benavidez from the beginning. And you got Tunde. That's right, brother. He fought to be up on this stage. His name wasn't up on here, but he represents this shit. And the clown over there, you dig what I'm saying? He came for the show, but he's going to get his in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So Tunde and Anthony Yarde, I knew them from coming to the Mayweather gym across the pond, and Tunde learning the game from Floyd and them and putting it down. So to see them on the stage and them two families getting a bunch of money means a whole lot to me. Reno, you know, you speak for yourself, and what he's doing in boxing behind the scenes with Turki Al-Sheikh, and giving us the opportunity. The one thing, when I met Turki, I said, listen, I don't know what everybody else got to say to you, but I need to tell you we've been getting robbed. And I said, listen, if you work with my son, you're going to see someone that's standing on business and willing to make all the sacrifices to be the kind of fighter that you want backing up Riyadh season. So here we are. They have a great relationship. That Devin is standing on business, just like Reno said, and it didn't matter who it was. You know what I mean? We wanted the opportunity to be here, and we want the max money. You know what I mean? That's what this business is about. Because taking punches, you know, there comes a time when you have to rely on what you've invested in and made happen. You know what I mean? So now, with that, let me get to the clown over there. Now, Devin has fought 3 champions to become the fighter that he is. We went across the pond to Australia and they said that I couldn't come, and he said, well, Dad, I'm going to bring the belt back. That was one of the most impressive times in my life that this man had did, and I knew that he was full grown and on his own. We came back to the 140-pound division and fought Regis Prograis, someone that no one wanted to fight because, I mean, he was the Rougarou, okay? And then after everybody assassinated him and said, well, the left hook, the clown's son, tremendous fighter, put a guy in a coma. You know, he had lost memory for, I don't know, you know, he lost memory of the fight and everything, right? So for Devin to give Carl Moretti and Lomachenko the opportunity for the undisputed title, right? Something that he didn't have to do because he could have went up and fought at 140, but he still made the sacrifice and stood on business, right? For us to come back then when the clown didn't have no opportunity, nobody wanted to fight him, right? He had complained about Boots and had complained about everybody. Where was he going to have an opportunity to be on this stage right here if Devin didn't give him the opportunity? I don't know if he's ungrateful, or he's just slow, or he's just capping, but you should have took longer when you had the mic, dummy. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm going to wrap this up with alhamdulillah, and it's a great opportunity. Thank you for everybody on this stage for giving us the opportunity to grace it with you.
I want to say, thank you, Bill, for that bullshit ass speech. So check this out right here. So hold on, check this out right here. You got a man in Bill Haney who literally just said to me, who was gonna fight my son? Not to mention this fight with Devin Haney was made 7 days after my son just made the knockout of the year. Less than 7 days. So what the hell do you mean who was gonna fight my son? You never gave an opportunity. You don't know what the hell we had on the table. You have no clue who was going to fight my son. Don't tell me nobody was looking for him. He had just fought. Devin hadn't fought since May. You just made the statement and said you went to Turkey Al-Sheikh and said if you back up Devin, this is going to be the best. He was the most bullshit fighter on the card. He was the worst one, literally. He was literally the worst fighter on the card. Can we admit that? Hell no, we can't admit that.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
I let you talk.
Hey, sir, let me ask you. Is your son the best fighter at 147 pounds? Is he the most dangerous and feared fighter at 147 pounds, sir?
Absolutely, but we already know that. We was talking about that. Let's keep it right. Let's keep it right. We was talking about that. See, listen. Here's the problem. Wait, let me tell you the problem. What happens? So what you did was you brought a bunch of goopy hoes, all your fellas that you paid to bring. You brought a bunch of goopy hoes, and now what they're doing is they fucking the whole press conference up for you and me. That's what they're doing. We trying to get active. They trying to do all they little. They trying to get some money from us.
If you want to put something on the table for me and him to wrestle on this motherfucking stage, then just let it be known, and we can get to it. Other than that, let's get to having a great night in boxing.
The last time social media heard Bill Haney said, "I'm gonna make my pro debut against you
let's see right
on the
now.
undercard."
Come on, let's see right now.
Well, let's go then. What we gonna do? What the hell we gonna do? Look at it. He high. He high. He high. He high. He high. He high. Man, come on, bro. What we talking about?
All right, who wants to hear from their sons? Anybody here want to hear from the guys actually fighting on Saturday night?
Hey, hold on. Listen.
You supposed to be fighting me, Bill.
Okay.
You supposed to be fighting me. When we gonna fight?
Okay, listen. Right now, if you want to. But listen, let me just say this.
You said it was on site, Negro. I done seen you 5 times.
Okay. Shout out to the professionalism in this guy to come out when he did. This is amazing town. We've been here since November the 1st, right? And what we have is what we call when you get acclimated in Saudi, we got that bounce. You dig? Now tell him, let's see that bounce over there. Stiff as boards over there, you dig? November 22nd, my son gonna punish him.
All right, let's hear now from Devin Haney. Devin, for the first time in your career, I believe, you are the underdog in this matchup. Do you feel everything you've accomplished in your career that you should be the favorite?
Not anymore. I think it was an update in the odds.
No, sir, he's still the underdog. He's still the underdog. Check again.
No, alhamdulillah, I'm happy that
He's still underdog.
To be here. I thank Allah for this opportunity. I thank His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh for giving me this opportunity to be fighting here in Riyadh. This is a dream come true of mine. A dream come true of mine to be fighting for another world title. And this is not my first rodeo, so it won't be anything different. I look to bring back the WBO title back home to me and my family, my team, and yeah.
All right. Brian, Devin has fought and beaten 7 world champions. To my knowledge, you haven't fought a single champion in your career yet. What do you say to those who believe you're not ready to deal with someone of his caliber?
First thing first, this is a wonderful fight card, and gotta thank everybody that made this fight happen. That's Turkey Al-Sheikh, His Excellency, Ring, my Bob father, Bob Arum, Top Rank. I appreciate y'all for making this fight happen, and I truly feel like either you got it or you don't. Of course, he has fought. He has did wonderful things in his time period and what he had going on, but it's time for another face to come up here and do his own thing, and that's where that boy Brian Noma Jr. step in at.
Well, you said in Devin's last fight against Jose Ramirez that he ran so much he had to change shoes because they ran out of grip. That said, he won basically every round of that fight. How do you plan to force him into exchanges with you when other fighters haven't been able to seem to do that?
I mean, it's only so far you can go. We in the box. It's not like he could just run forever, so no matter if he run or he stay there, no matter what, the boy going to sleep.
And Devin, what's your strategy for Brian? He says there's no way that you're going to stand in the pocket and exchange with him. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, we fight everybody, different. Like I said, this is not my first rodeo. I fought Ramirez different than I fought Loma. I fought Loma different than I fought Regis. So the world got to see, what game plan me and my team has drawn up and how I'm going to beat this guy.
Well, in a recent face-to-face interview, you said he was just another guy. He's a bum. Why do you feel that way about him?
No, I think he's a great fighter.
Well, there you go. Well, Devin, what's your prediction for Saturday?
Devin Haney, WBO champion.
Booby hoes.
Brian.
Booby hoes.
Brian, how confident are you that you can get a decision win against Devin, or do you think you just have to knock him out to win?
I could go in by any means necessary. If I want to go to the cards, I could do that. If I want to knock him out, I'm definitely going to do that anyway, as is. It's me stamping my name in the game.
So what will happen Saturday? How do you win?
The boy going to sleep, dog.
All right. Well, good luck to you guys. That will be the co-main event. Can't wait to see that. Now we turn our attention to the main event. David Benavidez facing off against Anthony Yarde. Frank Warren, the founder of Queensberry, representing Anthony here today. You've been with him for a long time. He's been in some fantastic battles, but just hasn't been able to quite get the brass ring. Why do you think he does it here in Riyadh?
First of all, again, what a fantastic card this is. When you look at got this main event and the next three world title fights, they feature all undefeated fighters fighting each other. So Anthony's been with us from day one with Tundi and him. He'd had 12 amateur fights. When you look at where he's come from, just having 12 amateur fights to where he is today, they're 2 world title fights, and give a really good account of himself. And I thought he was definitely going to win one of them. And he's learnt on the way. This is big moment in his career. He's in with David, who we respect. He's 30-0, but he's in with a fighter who I promise you will give him the toughest fight he's ever had. Nancy believes in himself as we believe in him, and I genuinely feel it could be an upset on Saturday night.
All right, let's speak to the trainer now for Anthony Yarde. Tundi, Bill Haney's had some nice things to say about you. You're in charge of making the game plan. No one's been able to topple the Mexican monster. What's the strategy to get the job done?
First and foremost, by whatever name you call him, let me just say God is the greatest. It's been a long journey. Myself and Anthony literally walking into the gym, the Peacock gym in East London, starry-eyed, wanted to be something special in the sport. And I have to say, I'd be remiss if I didn't give credit to the man sitting to my right, Mr. Frank Warren, because when I first came into this sport, I said to him, I got it. And he said, let me tell you something, Ton, dreams come true. And I never forget those words. That's what's pushed me as a trainer, as a manager, as a mentor, as someone who's helped guide Anthony all the way. And then I have to say the words to Bill. Me and Bill was in the Sprinter. We met in London, 2012. I trained Devin in the gym every day. Went back to Las Vegas, Hit Factory. Me, Bill, I remember we was driving over to 50 Cent's gym and we looked at each other and we was like, how did these guys do it? It's like, we're gonna get there. And so for us to all be up here, myself, Anthony, Devin, Bill, in the biggest night in boxing, probably the best card Turki Al-Sheikh and Sella and Riyadh have ever put on, is truly amazing. And that's why I say God is the greatest, Allah is the greatest, Jesus Christ, whatever faith, religion, he is the greatest. He makes dreams come true. In terms of the fight, well, we don't want to do too much talking. You know, we've always maintained that violence moves in silence. And we ain't going to change our energy for no one. We're not going to badmouth anybody. We're not going to talk bad about. We respect David, Jose Sr. You know, we've exchanged pleasantries, and we just know both boys have a job to do. All I can say is get your popcorn, get your tea, get your biscuits. This is going to be one hell of a fight. I'm predicting a blockbuster, a fight for the ages. Yes, no game plan, no giving out no strategies. Just tune into the Zone pay-per-view and get ready for a great fight. And again, thank you, Bill Haney. Believed in me, gave me all the jewels that I need to be here sitting with him and Dev. And me and Anthony, we're going to turn up on Saturday night.
All right, Tundi, thank you. There are 3 father trainers here on the dais. We've heard from 2 of them. Now let's hear from Jose Benavidez Sr. I'm sure you're not as vocal as they are, but here's your chance to big up your son. What do you think of what he's been able to do so far in his career, and what do you expect to see from him Saturday?
Primeramente le quiero dar las gracias a toda esta gente bonita aquí de Saudi por recibirnos con los brazos abiertos y con mucho amor. quiero agradecerle a Turkey Al-Sheikh, a Al Heyman, Luis de Cubas, a David García por hacer todo esto posible. Y aquí nomás quiero darle un mensaje a toda la gente que David viene preparado, a toda mi gente mexicana. Entrenamos muy fuerte, venimos preparados para darles una guerra el 22. No se la pierdan este sábado, que van a tener una noche de boxeo muy bonita. Tenemos una cartelera espectacular. Yo creo que la cartelera mejor de todo este año. Y pues aquí estamos representando a México, arriba la bandera. Gracias.
Anything you want to say in English?
Okay.
Go for
well,
it.
first of all, I want to thank everybody here from Saudi. Thank you so much for all the love and support. We're super happy, super excited to be here. I want to thank Turkey Al-Sheikh, Al Heyman, Luis de Cubas, David Garcia for making this happening. All I can say is that David prepared himself very well for this fight, mentally, physically. It's ready to go. You guys are here to see a fight this Saturday, a war. It's going to be an action-packed. And I can say that this card, the whole card is stacked with great fighters. It's going to be a great night of boxing. And I just want to say we're here to represent Mexico. Arriba México, arriba la bandera. Un saludo para toda mi gente latina. Gracias.
All right, now let's hear from the WBC and WBA champion of the world, David Benavidez. David, in your opinion, from what you've seen from Anthony, where does he rank amongst your toughest opponents?
First of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank Turkey Al-Sheikh. I want to thank Al Heyman, Luis de Cubas Jr., for making this fight possible. I've had my eye on Anthony Yarde for a long, long time. I know he's a great fighter. He has a lot of heart. He has a lot of power. And the thing I like about Anthony Yarde, that no matter who he's up against, he's in there to make it a great fight. Me, I like to make every fight I'm in a war. I like to give the people the fights they want to see, and I want to give them the action-packed fights they want to see. So I've trained, I had a great training camp. I've trained extremely hard, and this fight is going to live up to the moment. Anthony Yarde, he's trying to capture a world title. I'm trying to capture all the titles and unify all the titles in the light heavyweight division. So there's a lot at stake here. I'm very excited for this fight. This has been the hardest I've trained out of any of my fights, so I'm very, very excited. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna give you guys a war, and you guys, the fans of boxing are really the ones who are gonna win on the night of Saturday, because from the top to the bottom, you have myself and Anthony Yarde, you got Brian Norman and Devin Haney, Bam Bam Rodriguez, and Abdullah Mason. This card is stacked. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a great night of boxing for everybody that's watching.
Well, you heard his trainer say it's going to be a blockbuster, it's going to be a war. Is that the kind of fight you're expecting, or do you think you're going to be able to dominate him?
I'm looking to dominate, but whatever happens, I'm ready for whatever. If it's going to turn into a war, then I'm gonna turn it into a war, but I'm definitely going to dominate.
All right, well, you heard him, Anthony. You're the challenger, and you recently said that you're going to hit David harder than he's ever been hit before, and that you're going to put him to sleep. Why are you so confident you're going to do that on Saturday?
Did I say that?
You did say that. We've got it on tape somewhere.
No, first of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank everyone in attendance. Big man here, Frank Warren, been with him from the beginning. Trainer Tunde, the rest of my team, and His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh. He picked me personally for this fight. And of course, Benavidez team giving me this opportunity. We're here again. And I feel like this is the best version of me. I've always said I didn't want an easy route, because there's people that go and win vacant titles, and nothing against them kind of people. But I've always said I want to beat someone like David Benavidez. That's why I went to Russia, challenge Kovalev. I know the risk. I know the lose. The undefeated, 18-0. This is me before. I was 18-0, big prospect. Don't go to Russia. Everyone's telling me, do not go to Russia to fight Kovalev. I said, I'm going. And then you get better BF. Everyone's saying this guy's a monster, another monster. Don't fight this guy. He's got 18 fights, 18 wins, 18 knockouts. I said, give me him. I'll fight him. I don't care who it is, because the better the fight I'm fighting, for me, it's better the reward. It's legacy. I started boxing very late. As Frank said, I had 12 amateur fights. And we've made it to the stage 3 times. And you've seen me get better each time. But this occasion, feels right. So I want everyone to tune in. I want to thank everyone on the... I don't even like to call it an undercard, because I feel like every fight on this card is like a main event. I'm a fan of everybody on the show as well. So let's make it happen. let's put on an excellent night of boxing and make this one for the history books.
Well, you're calling him a monster. He is the Mexican monster. You've seen all the monster movies. Every monster has a weakness. What would you say are his biggest vulnerabilities?
I'm not a person that goes out and just talks for the sake of it. I would only know once I'm in the ring with him. You know, everyone can watch TV and say, he does this wrong, he does this good, he does this bad. But you only know, me personally, I'm only going to know what he's about when I'm stood in front of him in the ring, the bell goes, and we start, you know, trading level.
Indeed. Well, David, you've been asked and you've spoken openly about who you might want to fight next. Benavidez, maybe Zurdo Ramirez. He finds that a little bit disrespectful. Any chance that you might be overlooking him on Saturday?
No, definitely not. I've never overlooked anybody. That's why I'm in the position where I'm at now. I've given Anthony all the respect he deserves. And, you know, I've studied him for a long, long time. And I'm trained. This has been the hardest I've trained at any fight, you know, so I'm extremely ready for this fight. I'm extremely ready for whatever he brings to the table. And, you know, there only will be one man that gets his hand raised, and that man will be David Benavidez.
Well, you're main eventing the biggest fight card of the year, the biggest stage of boxing here in Riyadh. You're making a ton of money. How much pressure are you feeling, not just to look good, but to knock him out?
There's no pressure. Honestly, I love what I do, and I'm extremely ready for this moment. I just want to get out there. I want it to be Saturday already so we can go out there and show out, but there's no pressure at all.
And Anthony, you mentioned your great fights against Beterbiev, against Kovalev. You came up just short in those fights. Why do you think the third time at a world title will be the charm?
I keep hearing this saying, you know, 3 times a charm or 3rd time lucky. I don't really believe in luck, but I feel like I'm a better fighter now, a bit more experience. And David believes he's going to have his hand raised, as he should. I believe the same. I feel like this is my time, my moment. I feel like how this all happened. As I said, Turkey called me himself because he wanted me for this fight. He wanted entertainment. There was other fighters' names in a hat or other people that they were negotiating with. He called me personally and said he thinks this fight, the way we fight, the styles, it's inevitable it's going to be a clash of the titans. You know, both fighters like going forward, both fighters like looking for the knockout, whether it comes or not. And it's pure entertainment. So I'm excited for it. I hope everyone else is excited for it. And yeah, I'm ready.
All right, what's your official prediction? What will your fans, what can they expect to see Saturday night?
All I know is it's going to be very, very exciting. I'm not a person that goes out and just, you know, starts ringing off predictions or rounds or anything like that. But I do think, stylistically, I think this fight's going to end in a knockout. And I said I want my hand raised. So I respect him highly. I respect his resume. I respect what he's done in the ring. I respect his highlight reels. And all these things, they motivate me. Same thing with Beterbiev. The better the fighter in front of me, the better version of me you'll see. So I'm excited.
Well, David, you're not ever shy of making a prediction. He says someone's getting knocked out. What say you?
Well, I'm going in to win the fight, whether I get the knockout or I get the decision. But I'm definitely I'm looking to dominate in there. So I'm going to get the victory no matter what.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it happens Saturday night. Give it up for our co-main event and our main event. We'll see you live on DAZN. But right now, let's have the fighters face off here in Riyadh.
We heard a lot from Bill Haney and Norman Sr. There was a lot of talk back and even a challenge. Did we expect this?
Yeah, of course we expected it, right? Bill Haney and Brian Norman Sr. have been talking trash for months and months now, but we're not here to see them fight. We're here to see their sons fight, 2 of the best fighters in the world, and Brian Norman Jr. taking a big challenge in Devin Haney. I know Devin Haney is the challenger, but this is by far the best opponent of Norman's career.
I'm going to tell you who I don't want to be.
Here they are, first face-off, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the welterweight championship of the world, sanctioned by the WBO. Undefeated versus undefeated. Somebody's has got to go. The challenger, 2-time world champion Devin the Dream Haney. The reigning and defending undefeated champion, Brian Norman Jr., the assassin number 2.
Whoa. A lot of jumping around from Devin Haney, Sergio.
A fighter might take that
has nervous energy. Anyone else will probably say he's excited for the moment and for the challenge. We're going to find out Saturday.
Yes, I definitely look forward to it. I was more concerned about Rick Reno right smack in the middle of all that.
Hey, Reno's used to it. You know, I think he can take a punch if he has to.
I think his name's Versace Reno.
Night of Champions. The feature bout of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the light heavyweight championship of the world, the unified title for the WBC and WBA. The challenger, a big hitter, 27 victories, 24 by knockout. The champion, a big hitter, 30 victories, 24 wins by knockout. The beast from the east challenges again Anthony Yarde. And from Phoenix, Arizona, the Mexican monster, David Benavidez.
Look at that stare down. There's a lot of respect here. A lot of respect.
Now that is what I like. A good old-fashioned stare down, respectful, you know, shaking your opponent's hand. That's what transpires in the ring. That's what actually ends up panning out. Whenever, you know, you hear all the hoopla, the dancing around, all the talk, that doesn't pan out. That right there's going to be explosion.
If you can't be here, go to thezone.com and tune in on us.
And he was even very complimentary to Benavidez.
Anthony Yarde against the undefeated world champion. 30 victories, 24 wins by KO. The Mexican monster, David Benavidez.
We got a chance to see Tunde, the longtime trainer for Yarde, thanking Don Jose Benavidez for the opportunity. Also, he thanked the Devin Haney team. Again, a lot of respect there.
Yeah, and I think you have a lot of respect, right, when you're a guy like Anthony Yarde and his team, that you've gone to Russia and fight Sergey Kovalev, gave him one of his toughest fights, gave Beterbiev his toughest fight until B-Ball fought him twice, so there's no reason not to be respectful.
Well, we're looking forward to a great night on Saturday, but here on The Zone, we champion women's sports as well. We showcase the ladies and their athletic skills.
We're not just competing, we're inventing, pushing the boundaries of stamina and speed. We're taking the titles, the big money, and writing history. How you like that? From new challengers to certified legends.
Oh, how about that?
This is where you watch. We're not here to play games. DAZN Women's Sports.
Shout out to the ladies, and a quick reminder, The Ring and DAZN deliver a spectacular card this Saturday. The event features 4 world title fights, headlined by the massive light heavyweight clash between David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde. And we return to the Kingdom on December 27th for Ring 5, Night of the Samurai. Undisputed Super Bantam King Naoya Inoue puts all his titles on the line against the undefeated Mexican Alan Picasso. The females bring the New York style. Amanda Serrano and Erika Cruz run it back in Puerto Rico. Expect all the action January 3rd. And I will be there too. January 24th, future heavyweight star Moises Itama faces former world title challenger Jermaine Franklin in the Magnificent 7. And a reminder that Ring 4 Night of the Champions is available to buy now at thezone.com/boxing. This event is included as part of our Ultimate Package, a new subscription offer that includes over 180 fight nights and a minimum of 12 pay-per-view events for one annual fee. And with so many mega cards set to be announced for 2026, this is the best value for money package for the ultimate boxing fan.
Which one of these two lions will leave Wembley as the face of English boxing? It's over! There's no way back from this! Let's make history! Nothing comes close to what we are witnessing here. The big left hand, unbelievable! Is Itama the heir apparent? It's the biggest win of his professional life. Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury lock horns all over again. And he's just done it! Round 1, destruction! He's up on his feet! They stop the fight! Vergil Ortiz just like that! These 2.
But I'm gonna show the world I'm the best in the world. I got something for you.
Dimitri Bivol, Artur Benavidez, the undisputed light heavyweight champion, and seal his place in history.
Gentlemen, historic fight. Absolutely a great card coming up on Saturday. A lot was said. Now we expect things to be done. What is your final thought now that we're just looking at weigh-ins and then fights?
I cannot wait for David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde. I know that Sergio said before that Anthony Yarde's the bigger guy. I disagree. I think David Benavidez is going to be the bigger guy in the ring. I think it's a tough weight cut for him. He's a guy, we hear him talking about maybe fighting Zurdo Ramirez as a cruiserweight. I think we're going to see him at a heavyweight one day.
In the words of Biggie Smalls, bad boys move in silence and violence and respect. I mean, they're getting respect because they know that both of them can turn each other's lights out. They both got power. Benavidez has the speed. Yarde does have the size advantage. You're going to see it fight night once he rehydrates. I can't wait. Undercard top to bottom. I don't think none of these fights go the distance. I repeat, Claudia, none of these fights go the distance. We're going to get a night of knockouts.
So can I hear that again so we can take a note? Make sure we make notes right here because no fight is going to make it to the distance. With that being said, Devin Haney, Norman Jr., a lot was said by the fathers. Can the children, the sons, actually live up to those expectations?
I don't see why not. I think Brian Norman right now is peaking as a fighter. He's ultra confident, and why shouldn't he be? He's coming off of what I think is the knockout of the year. That was in Tokyo in June against Jin Sasaki. Devin Haney's levels above Jin Sasaki, obviously. And just like David Benavidez, I think Haney's going to be the bigger guy in there. Yes, he started his career at 35, but he's been brutal weight cuts for him. I think he's going to be better at 147.
Now, that one I agree. I do agree that Devin Haney's going to be the bigger guy, but not the stronger guy, not the more powerful guy.
Agreed.
And I think Norman brings a lot of hunger. This is new to him. He's been relishing this moment, and that man has been thriving in the moment for some time now. He's always exceeded expectations when he's got the opportunity. So Devin Haney's been there, done that. Brian Norman wants to prove something, and that's a dangerous man.
And somebody else wants to add another title in another division. So everything is said. Now we expect things to be done. The first challenge is the scale, and we will be on live on the Zone for the weigh-ins. So I think we have a date tomorrow.
We'll be here.
There we go. See you again tomorrow for the weigh-ins, live on the Zone.
Live only on DAZN, November 22nd. The Ring 4. In boxing, gold is everything. And on this night, every fight feels like a main event. David Benavidez, the undefeated Mexican monster, defends against Anthony Yarde, London's heavy hitter. A warrior who's gone toe-to-toe with the best and has the power to end anyone's night early. But the action doesn't stop there. Devin Haney, a two-weight undisputed king, chases history in yet another division versus Brian Norman Jr., the undefeated champ. While Bam looks to unify more of his division if he can break Fernando Martinez. Plus, Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes clash at lightweight for the WBO title. This is more than a fight night. It's 4 world titles in 4 different divisions. It's the night of the champions. The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
Don't miss the biggest nights in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
To score a goal like that, you could see what it meant to me personally.
Just
all to play for, which is so exciting. These teams have to come in here and give it their all.
Have a real nice tempo. Goes baseline, watch out.
Oh, my! Oh, baby! All the way down the runway for a big-time throwdown.
Fight Week on DAZN is non-stop action. Access all areas of the biggest fight, even before the bell rings.
I hope you guys enjoy this fight as much as I will.
That's a lot of fans out there.